Atomica World, Motor Row and Rails, Play Rail, Trackmaster, and Motorized. What is the best component of these models? Is it their face? The cool details? The engine? Well, yes, all of these make them being a very good representation of the models, but there's one thing that stands out from other popular ranges of Thomas and Friends. What is it? It's the side rods. And this part of the model are quite important part of making a model great due to its shape, size, and color. Today I'll be talking about the Thomas and Friends Motorized line side rods. Oh, before we begin, it'll help me a lot if you smash that like button and subscribe so I can keep making videos like this for you to watch. And also, I'm doing a Q&A if I ever reach 5,000 subscribers. Okay, now let's begin. What is a side rod? Side rods are actually quite more important than you think, because they literally make the whole entire engine move. You see, side rods help an engine move. It's connecting all the drive wheels and makes them all move together to make an engine move. Without it, an engine will probably only have one drive wheel. So they are important, but they are also fun to look at, seeing the rods going in circles again and again. Now, this is the same for the Thomas and Friends. They have side rods, but the merchandising are quite random. Some have them, but others do, but they're static. Others don't even have them at all. Let's look at this clip of a motorized engine in motion. What stands out? Well, it's the side rods, of course. It's fun seeing them to go round and round and round and round again. So, let's look at the many variations of the motorized side rods from all these lines. And, well, let's start with standard rods. The classic side rods. It could be used for outside and inside piston engines. This works for almost every engine. Almost for every But these comes in many colors, like white, gray, dark gray, black, red, and gold. And there's also variants of these side rods. The original side rods are bulky, while the new player ones are a little bit more thinner, and the Trackmaster Revolution ones are gray, and these ones are more flimsy, but still look the same. So, the standard rods are amazing, but let's look at the second side rods made. Long rods. So, these side rods were introduced by Henry, and my god, they look awful. I can see what they were going for, the rods going through the pistons, but they look nothing like the side rods from the characters, the show, the models. Luckily, it was only used for two engines, Henry and Gordon. But they stuck around for a long time. For countries that live outside of Japan, it was up to 2014. And in Japan, it was up to 2018 and 2015 for Gordon, and replaced with standard rods. We will get to that later. These rods are bad. They look nothing to what they're supposed to, and are bad. But these next rods are the opposite of bad. Short rods. So, these rods were introduced by Edward, and wow, it's accurate to the show. The small side rods on his drive wheels. That's cool. And then it was later added to Oliver, and it's on his front wheel, like in the show. Now, they may be different, but I don't know. I don't have an Oliver to confirm it's true or not, but it seems close enough. Sadly, for the case of Edward, Trackmaster 2 gave him the standard side rods. And why? Why? What? Why? Well, at least Player didn't let us down. Motherfuck. Well, at least the knockoff is doing better than the official companies. Why does Edward get treated like this? Hashtag please stop Edward hate. Okay, these rods are amazing, but again, it's only used by 2 engines. But it's still amazing. It's pretty cool, very nice. Static rods. Static rods. Oh boy. It's either make or break models, but introduced by Diesel. And it looks fine for him. But for other engines, oh boy. Why does it look so bad? Looks like they're the dummy models. I mean, yes, looks like the ones from the show, but they don't move. And it looks awful. Like, let's compare 2 models. The Player Rail Bell and a Trackmaster Bell. You see, the moving side rods look better because it looks like a train in motion. Sure, it's not accurate side rods, but it makes sense for it to move, unlike the Trackmaster one. But the thing I hate the most is that a lot of characters have these types of rods. Diesel, Splatter, Dodge, Murdoch, Skarloey, Freddy, Rheneas, Peter Sam, Harry, Bert, Hank, Bell, Den, and Paxton. I seriously think they got lazy, because as for Skarloey and Peter Sam, they could have just given them the Oliver side rod design. But no, they decided to give them the static ones. Like, why? You guys really don't want it? You guys really hate these rods, don't you? It's a mixed bag with these rods. On one hand, I can see why they did it for some models. But on the other hand, they just got lazy and didn't care. But I'm glad they seem to be disappearing now. Or outright just gone. Unique rods. The first character to have their own side rods, it's Harvey. It's like the long rods, but smaller and red. Next is Emily. Same like long rods, but smaller and dark gray. Then later white by Fisher-Price. Dennis got these cool rods, and it's just standard rods, but with this extra piece on the back to extend it to make it look like it's going with this red part, like his TV model. Pretty cool. Next, Steve is with his black rods, and lastly, Gordon with these rods. And finally, they made side rods that look like the ones from the show. I mean, it's just the standard rods, but with this extended piece on the top. But it works. Now, time for Henry to get these rods. Oh wait, only Gordon got them. Yeah. I think it would be cool if other characters got this, like Henry and Rebecca. But at least they still made these rods, which is really cool. Characters having their own unique side rods are cool, and it helps make the model look like their real life counterpart. Really cool. Missing rods. Wait, there's characters that are straight up missing side rods? Well, yes, there's 3. Well, 4. The first one makes sense on why it's missing its rods. Mighty Mac. Now, if you don't know why the side rods are missing, well, it's because the model have a unique feature that allows it to move its entire body to turn it around. So, for either Mighty or Mac to pull. So the model is already complicated, so I can see why they didn't want to add the side rods. But next one is quite unfortunate. Molly is straight up missing her side rods, and it would have been the Edward ones. But the reason why they're missing, it's because in all promotional images and art, her side rods is either covered or missing due to her wheels being covered by this wheel cover and arch. So most of the time it's just behind all this stuff. So she never got her rods. But the next character also had this problem, but for a funny reason. Duke. Yes, I know he got his side rods. Well, a part of it, but yeah, it's kinda there. You wonder why Duke looks nothing like his TV model? Well, it's because they used the reference photo. Not from season 4, not the season 4 ones, the later repainted one with the light brown, a laughing face, and part of his side rods missing. And just straight up copied it, made this model. It's just wrong, but it looks like it would have been static side rods, so But because of his missing rods, Bertram also didn't receive his side rods, even though he had them in this picture. So yeah, it kind of sad and goofy. Oh, and yes, this is the worst one. Not for Mighty Mac, but for Molly, Duke, and Bertram. Those poor bastards didn't get static ones. So, that's all the side rods from the Motorized Thomas line. Who knew a small part of an engine would make or break the models and stand out from the others in a toy aisle? But sadly, in the States, Motorized now have AG engines and they don't have side rods in them anymore. But luckily, Playrail still makes the CGI models, and a knockoff also has them. So it's not all lost. So, just ended the video. See you guys later. That's it. That's all.